Oh, hi, my name's Karen Cave. You caught me counting my paycheck and I was about to pay my taxes. Isn't that what it feels like when you get your paycheck, that your money's going into the trash? Well, not so much, but we're going to talk about income taxes today. And I believe being informed on why we pay taxes, how we pay them, and what are some benefits, we can plan ahead better for our future. I've got numerous years experience being a tax preparer for individuals and businesses. I also use the IRS website for some of your handouts as well as some other websites. The idea here is that although not everyone is required to file a tax return, it may be very beneficial for them to do so because there are benefits and credits possibly. I'm going to talk a little bit today about why we pay taxes, how we pay them, and what are those benefits that I've mentioned. And I hope once you understand why we pay taxes, you'll see that it's inevitable but needed. There's an old saying, there's three things in life you ought to do. You got to live, you got to die, and you got to pay taxes. How did it all start? Abraham Lincoln, 1862. The Civil War was on and he needed military money. He imposed a tax. Through the years it was ratified, repealed, changed. It finally was passed into Congress and ratified in 1913, and that's where we get our current income tax stater. We have other taxes that are paid out. There's 97 on a list I gave you. Corporate taxes, fuel taxes, biodiesel taxes, very many, and we won't go into those. There's also state taxes, but we live in Texas, we don't have a state tax. There's two taxes coming out of our paychecks, FICA and federal withholding. FICA is Social Security and Medicaid tax. It has nothing, Medicare tax. It has nothing to do with the IRS. Federal withholding does, and what we're paying out of our checks is actually going into our bank at the IRS to pay our tax liability, our possible tax liability. So how do we pay these taxes? Now that we know what taxes are, how do we pay them? We pay them first by getting that job, and we fill out that W-4 and tell them how many allowances we want to put out. I'm single, I claim 0, but I could claim up to 2 according to the IRS. I claim 0 because they take more out now, and then maybe I'll get more back later or not have to pay. The more you claim, the less they take out. And then we pay taxes by filing our tax return. And even though you may not be required to pay your tax return, I know some of you are dependents in here and living at home, and some of you are not. You may not fall into that threshold, but there could be benefits. And the way we pay those taxes is using 1040 Easy, 1040A, 1040. There's all kinds of schedules, A, B, C, D, E, and on, 1099s. I've got lists of those in your handouts. Basically, those of you who are dependents would use a 1040 Easy probably. Those of you on your own will probably use a 1040A because you'll have school. The way you pay your taxes, you use one of those forms and you need your W-2 from your job, which shows your income and your federal withholding, and a 1098-T from the school showing your tuition and fees. You also need to keep up with your books and supplies for that tax credit. So now we know how we pay them, why we pay them. So, what are those benefits that I've been talking about? Well, there's great benefits, and I've already mentioned one. Even if you are not required to file, you may be able to get a refund. If you've been working, and let's say you make $4,000 for the year, you're a dependent, you're going to get whatever money is in your federal withholding back to you. So it's very beneficial to file for that reason. Another good reason is to establish yourself, your financial credibility, your ID. It gives you, it establishes you. Many applications, especially like our college financial application, financial aid application, they always want your tax return. Other loans are like that too. And speaking of college, the college is a big tax credit. IRS gives us a big tax credit with the American Opportunity Act, the Lifetime Learning Act, and the tuition and fees deduction. That's a big reason to file taxes right there. And it also benefits our country. Our country is still using money for military operations, using it for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and other safety net programs that help people in need, such as food, utilities, and so on. So hopefully now that you know some benefits can be claimed, and although you may not be required to file, you'll go ahead and file and get that refund and maybe expand that new bank account. So in summary, federal income tax is required for those with certain incomes. But although you may not be required because you're not in that income, it could be very beneficial to you by deductions, credits, or even a refund. And so in closing, by understanding how federal withholding is calculated and what deductions and credits may be available to you, taxpayers can hopefully make better prepared decisions for their future when they are making that big bucks and need all those forms to do their taxes. That's all the time we've got today, folks. I want to close with my own saying, breathe and pay your taxes. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.